how to shadow box purposely and get exactly what you need from it. Hello, Earthlings. Ultraviolet Ronald from the Bronx here. We're gonna get right into it. Now, a lot of people when they're shadow boxing, they're just doing stuff, just moving around, no real purpose, not throwing nothing significant, and they're just like, "Oh, this looks cool. So let me just throw my hands out there. I guess I'll block. I guess I'll try to move around." If you know what you're doing, I mean, I've been boxing for forever pretty much at this point. So even though I may try to play around like I don't know what I'm doing, I know it probably look like, oh, you're still doing it correctly. But a lot of people, nonetheless, they shadow box as if there's no real purpose behind it. Okay. The first thing when you're shadow boxing is to get your footwork down. Okay. That just means getting comfortable in the stance and keeping your hands up. That's the number one rule in boxing, keeping your hands up at all times. So just get comfortable just moving around with your hands up and thinking that your opponent is throwing a punch and you're blocking. Okay, you're slightly rolling to take the steam off the punch. All right, dipping to block to the body or turning with it or parrying. Okay, but you're keeping your hands nice and tight to your face and making sure your feet don't cross. You want to just get comfortable defensively. All right, because a great defense creates a strong offense. And the name of the game is to hit and not get hit. So you just want to get comfortable moving around with your hands up. Now, after you're comfortable with your hands up and just thinking defensively with the blocking, then that's when you add your little subtle dips, okay? As if you're throwing a haymaker and you're dipping, catching, going right back into the blocking. Then after the dip, maybe to get out the way completely and set up for a counter, rolling to the left or rolling to the right. But you want to try to implement all these defensive movements in play because this is what the high level people are thinking at all times. You're actually thinking that a person's coming towards you and they're trying to take your head off. Now, when you're thinking like that, these are one of the ways. When you're thinking like that, it actually makes you shadow box better and tactfully with purpose and not staying in the same spot. Okay? And then after you get comfortable with the defensive movements, then you go into the midway, which a lot of people, especially beginners, don't focus on enough, is the feinting, okay? So whether it be feints with the body, I'm just jerking my body forward, okay? Whether it be feinting here or actually throwing my punch a quarter out the way, you want to get used to that feinting or stepping forward as if I'm gonna come forward, but I'm not. You want to implement that feinting into the blocking, okay? Because what this is inciting to your opponent is like, oh, he's unpredictable. I can't tell what's he gonna do next. Okay, and then it makes it harder to read where your shots are going to come from. Okay, as you're moving around. Okay, so you wanna feint, keep your guard high. Those are the first steps. And of course, that helps you get your feet loose. Those are the first steps, focusing on the feinting, where your footwork is, keeping your hips underneath you, keeping those hands up, and being defensively sound, being unpredictable. And then after you get comfortable doing that, then that's when you add the punching. And the first punch you always want to start off with, which is the most important punch, is the jab. So I'm jabbing, keeping my elbow in, and keeping it straight, and changing up the rhythm of the jab. You're not just throwing the same jab out, okay, because then it becomes predictable, or if I'm cocking it back. I'm throwing that jab out, so I'm throwing it from here, throwing it from back here, okay, doubling it up, throwing it halfway, maybe flicker. I'm throwing and changing up the rhythm and pattern of the jab because it makes it more unpredictable. Or I throw that feint in there, again, being defensively sound, as if I'm going to the head, go to the body. As if I'm going to the body, going to the head. And then double up, and again, moving around, being defensively sound. As you get comfortable with you utilizing that jab correctly, then once you touch with the jab, that's when you start implementing the power punching into the play as you're imagining yourself actually fighting someone. You want to think that you're in an actual bout when you're shadowboxing. That's how you get the most of it. Get the most out of it, I meant to say. Okay, so I'm here. Again, I'm implementing everything I said. I'm jabbing, and if I can touch him with the jabs, I can touch him with that power punch. All right, I'm touching him with the jab, turn into a left hook to get too close, cross to the body. But you see, if I'm touching him, I'm able to hit him with those power punches. And I'm thinking defensively all the time. And after I hit, okay, I'm backing out. I'm getting out the way. I'm moving around. I'm keeping those hands up. I'm being defensively sound. This is one way you practice shadow boxing to really think and get in that mind frame as if you're in the ring to utilize your body mechanics correctly when that time comes, okay? Now, if you're looking for it for just like a boxer size, as they call it, or a workout, then yes, you're gonna be just throwing punches and not really thinking about it in a way where you're being technical and methodical in everything you're doing, because your purpose is to burn calories, right? If you're shadow boxing for a workout. But even when you're doing technical, you always want to try to have those spurts of barrage of punches coming at them or your imaginary opponent, because that's going to build up your cardio. The old school people, the best way they did to bring their cardio up was shadow boxing like a wild man, hitting the heavy bag for a long time and sparring. Those are the three things before everything else came into play, like the double end bag, the speed bag, and all of these other things. You can't go wrong with shadow boxing. That's the quintessential thing to really see where you stand in your body. And of course, just focusing on technique. Not throwing a lot of power, but just seeing, is my form good? Am I keeping it down the center line? Am I tucking my chin? Is my posture straight? Am I keeping my hands up? Do my hips feel comfortable and stable underneath me? Am I staying light on my toes? Okay, all of those things come into the mix. Now try to practice as much as you can, because you can shadow box anywhere. There's no excuses. Try to practice for 5 to 10 minutes at least daily to really bring yourself to another level, and watch yourself to make sure you get the form down. Or if you could train with a trainer, that'd be even better. But if not, watch yourself in the mirror or record yourself and see the little things that do not look right. Okay, and then over time you will progress. Now, thank you for joining me on this journey to the ultraviolet. And if you like the video, please comment and subscribe, and always work towards becoming your greatest version.